So I was sitting back contemplating, as I usually do, typically around the holidays. The holidays for me, especially during the past 4 years or so, have been very introspective, very reflective. It has allowed me a lot of space and time to really discover and uncover and reconnect to who I truly am at the core. And this past year as I've been reflecting, I have noticed that a lot of the content that I have put out has been speaking to my former self, has been speaking to former relationships and making declarations in terms of who I truly am today. The videos that I have been posting has just been reaffirming my beliefs, reaffirming my convictions, and establishing, right, standing firm, standing 10 toes on who I am, and letting the old places, spaces, people, the old versions, the old belief systems, letting them know that they are of no use in this new chapter in my life. A lot of what I've been posting has been feeling like I'm speaking at people or condemning actions, condemning old systems, condemning old thought processes, which is all fine and good. But in this new chapter, I want to once and for all put a rest to all that is old, all that I knew, and start reaching, accepting, right? Not reaching, but being open to accepting the newness, the new chapter, the new version, and embracing the newness, right? Because we've learned the lessons. That's the thing about this past cycle is I've done the work to learn the lessons, review them, put them into practice, and really incorporate it into the whole that is me. So what I want to do is just say a final farewell to the previous cycle. Say a final farewell, bid it adieu, and give thanks. Yes, I give thanks for the lessons. I give thanks because it allowed me to truly see my strength and to really accept some hard truths about myself too, really get acquainted with the shadow aspects of myself and also embrace those shadow aspects. If it wasn't for the heartache, the anxiety, the worrying, those nights of being faced with my shadow, being faced with hard decisions, I would not have come into the individual that I am today. The one that is capable of discernment, top tier discernment. I wouldn't have been able to fully take the reins of my life had it not been for those lessons that granted me the opportunity to take full reins in my life. But the chapter is done. The battle is won because I kicked ass this year. I truly did. I kicked behind this year. I am grateful for that. I'm also grateful for the memories. Not everything that happened in my past was bad. There were great moments, great teachable moments, great moments of resilience and resourcefulness, a lot of adventure, fellowship, a lot of opportunities to meet multiple versions of myself across all space-time and continuums, or across all space-time continuums. I enjoyed, but that chapter is done. And I appreciate the old versions of myself because they were all stepping stones. They all led me to here. No action was a mistake. No connection was by happenstance. It was all divinely orchestrated so that I can be led here, right now. All the rejections, all of the detours, all of the opposition, all the adversity gave me a sneak peek into the highest version of myself in the highest timeline, strength, happiness. It was all leading me to my ultimate fulfillment. So I appreciate everyone who participated in my ascension. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for honoring your soul's contract to meet up with me in that particular space, in that particular time, so that I can act out my role as a protagonist, so that I could show up fully in that moment and claim my crown. So thanks to my past, I was ultimately protected the entire time. So farewell, thank you so much, but your services are no longer needed because I'm pretty sure this has been the remnants have been placed in isolation for protective measures. Because although I moved away from these situations with grace, I know that people in those connections felt vengeful that I stepped away, and that's fine. I'm going to say this with my whole chest. You are no longer allowed in my energy. You are no longer allowed to spy, monitor, or cloak yourself in my energy. You are no longer a part of my reality. That's it, that's all. You are no longer a part of my reality. So respectfully, you are not allowed into this new chapter of my life. And you, your energies, your prying eyes must leave immediately. Or else, moving on. There will be no more delays. There will be no more hang-ups. There will be no more struggle because you don't want to see me win, or you don't want to see me move on without you. You have to let that go for your own sake. You don't want to mess up your karma. You don't want to slow down your progression because you are latched on to the past, because you can't seem to evolve beyond your past version of yourself. Learn from the lessons, learn from the previous cycles, from the previous chapters, close it out, get your marks, move on. Now, I want to connect to the small percentage of people who resonate, to the new people. I want to connect to the new incoming energies that resonate with what I'm saying, that resonates with the mission, with the vision, on a soul level, not just on a superficial level, like, oh, she looks cool, it sounds cool. I really want to connect with those who show genuine interest in the things that I'm saying, or who feel like they're in a similar position, feel like they can apply it to their waking life, to their own personal journey. This message is for you. Balance and rest. Let's chat. Just gonna do a quick little reading. I don't want to be on here too long. For those who resonated with the farewell message, okay, you've been practicing a lot of temperance, a lot of patience, a lot of tolerance this year. You have endured and put up with a lot, honey, to the point where it has pissed people off or made you or pissed your own self off. You felt like you've been patient to a fault. You've been diligent to no end. You've been fighting and persevering and employing your virtues, and it seems like, what is the use? What's the gag here? When are we going to get to the finish line? It's been making you feel disoriented. Like, you do all this, you show patience, you're noble, and people still give you their arse to kiss. You know you might have crashed out this year, which I feel like sometimes you need a good crash out. Acting as if we don't embody those traits of crashing out is being dishonest. It's sending the message that I'm perfect, I never get mad, I never get angry, nothing ever bothers me. But if you are alive and awake in this 3D reality, then there are a lot of things that can trigger you. And the triggers help you see the unresolved wounds, help you see the unresolved traumas. This year, although you're trying to hold it together, you realize that there was a lot of things that were still unresolved, a lot of things that were unhealed. You still had a lot of triggers. Yeah, you struggled this year. We all did. You went through a lot of losses on this spiritual journey. You sacrificed a lot of things. And it felt like you were stuck. It felt like you were stuck, honey. Your material world was definitely in flux. You had to exert a lot of energy to establish a foundation for yourself so that you can get out of this cycle of poverty, of scarcity, of fear. Felt like you kept going around and around to no end. But I believe that in the going around and around and the fighting, it was so that you could just be honest with yourself. I was having this thought earlier that true love is honesty. And a lot of times when we're in a rush to just get better, in a rush to just get to the next stage in our life, we miss out on the lessons. We miss out on the hidden traumas, on the things that we need to work on. We miss out on the actual problems. We gloss over them because we don't want to be honest with where we're at. We're like, oh, it'll get better. Just get my money, stay prayed up, all this other stuff. It'll get better. True, it will get better. But first, you have to be honest with the fact that things are shitty. And I think that you finally came to a space in your life this year that you realized things were shitty. Yeah, things were shitty. Money was funny. And you just accepted that. We rested, we stopped fighting, we eased into the fact that we have unresolved money wounds. Okay? Hold on, spirit. We have unresolved money wounds. We're too busy chasing. We don't know how to attract. That is a big lesson. You can go out and get. Strive, fight, struggle. But how do we alchemize? So no matter what season we're in, we always see the things. Let me show you the cards. So yeah, like I said, you was doing the tolerance, you was doing the temperance, you was being patient. You kept feeling like you getting passed up, people disrespecting you, trying your gangster, so you crashed out. You probably felt bad about it. You probably felt like, man, all this spiritual work gone down the drain, but you had some unresolved wounds that needed to be triggered so that you can look within and see in all the ways that you have been giving endlessly and there not being any reciprocity. You have been giving more than what you had. Okay, what puts you in these vicious cycles of feeling like you again and again and again. We down this road of giving, not receiving, doing, not seeing the results. But what you didn't see is that you was surrendering finally. You was like, all right, I understand that, it's not enough to just be patient, but you have to trust. You have to release expectations. Be honest with where you're at in your journey. Stop fighting the fact that you have unresolved money wound. That's why you crashing out. You feel like nothing you do is good enough. Nothing you do is giving you the fruits of your labor that you've been working so hard for. But what you didn't see that while you were in this space of just giving and not seeing the fruits of your labor, you learned how to alchemize. You learn how to alchemize through the strife, through the pain, through the grief, so that you can uncover your own abundance. Right? And this is the greatest gift. I spoke about this in another video that if you can resource yourself in the valley, then you will be a better steward of your wealth at the peak. And so you learned how to resource yourself in the valley. You learned how to take the reins of your life, how to flip the story on its head and not be the victim. You learn how to just be okay with where you're at. And I think that's sometimes the hardest thing to do when you're in the space of lack, or you're in the space of learning, in the space of cycles. It's hard to accept that. It's hard to accept that maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you still have some old conditionings that you need to work through. It's hard to see that. But when you're able to see it and you're able to be honest with yourself, then you can more easily move on to the next level, next stage, right? Ooh, look at that. So it wasn't you going around and around. It was you mastering these cycles. What you don't see is that you're victorious. What you don't see is that you won. That's what you don't see, bro. You don't see it. You don't see that you are actually the Nine of Pentacles. You don't see that you are actually abundant. That's your energy, even through all of this. But because you crashed out, see, that's the thing. Never stop your crash out, especially if you are a divine child of the Most High. And I just noticed the snail on this card. Slow and steady wins the race. You needed to crash out. It was ordained. It was orchestrated for you to crash out. Because with that crash out, you were able to catch those unresolved traumas. Okay, what you don't see is you are walking away from what no longer serves you. Come through, spirit. You finished. Okay, you graduated. Congratulations. You graduated, honey. The outside looked crazy. But you was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do the inner work. Regardless of what the outside looks like, you said, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do the inner work. Passion. Yeah, you had a lot of passion at the beginning of the year. You was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing right. I'm gonna take my spiritual journey seriously. I'm gonna take this spiritual path seriously. I'm gonna really take this relationship with myself seriously. I'm not gonna give up on myself. I'm not gonna second guess myself. I'm gonna go full force in this year. I'm gonna go full force. And then everything just got kind of crazy. Mystery. What the hell? That came out over the crashing out. You found out the mystery of your life, that hidden mystery within your life. You found out what was keeping you in these cycles of lack. Money wounds. No matter how much you did, you're like, well, I'm doing all of this. Why am I not? Do I not feel like I'm worthy? Do I feel like I have to always do in order to get? Why can I not sit back and attract? So then you started making a way for yourself. You said, I'm not going to keep doing and doing and doing for people who don't appreciate. Doing for places and spaces who don't see me, who don't even got a seat for me. I got to bring my own folding chair. I'm not going to keep doing that. I'm worth more than that. You were protected from these spaces anyway. All those rejections that you received, all those people who turned their back on you, that was all divinely orchestrated. It was divinely orchestrated so that it could, one, put a fire under your ass for you to turn within. Yeah, it caused a lot of anger as well. But it activated that shadow aspect of yourself where it's like the Big Red Hen. It's this children's book that I used to love. It was like a call and response book where you press the button every time it tells you to press. But she was trying to make biscuits and she didn't really have all the ingredients to make her biscuits. So she was walking around her community asking all the different barn animals for ingredients, but nobody had anything, or nobody wanted to give her any ingredients. It's not that they didn't have it, they just didn't want to give her any ingredients. So she said, fine, I'll do it myself. That was the button that you press every time somebody said no. Every time somebody rejected the Big Red Hen, you press the button, it says, fine, I'll do it myself. So you did it yourself. And now that you eating, you found the love within yourself, you poured into yourself, you made your biscuits. Everybody want to show up now. That's how the story went. Everybody showed up. Oh, I heard you made biscuits. It's not for you. I ain't make no biscuits for you. What you talking about? You found the love, okay? Caution. You're gonna be very cautious in this next chapter. I don't even think that this is a warning. I think that you already know that you are walking away into this next chapter and you're going to be much more diligent in who you choose to accompany you in this next cycle of your life, because you already know what it's like to have ain't shit people around you claiming that they love you, claiming that they support you, and they don't. That was illuminated to you. So in this next chapter, you taking it real slow. Even the person walking away got a cane. They're not running away. They're walking away slow. They got a journey. There's mountains, rivers, lakes, all kinds of stuff. So they're taking it slow, being very cautious with their next steps, but still making a concerted effort to walk away from what no longer serves them. Just know that you are abundant, honey. You don't even know that that's your energy because of all of the shit that you've been through this year. You don't even think that's your energy, but you are abundant because you said so, because you worked on it, because you resourced yourself. This Nine of Pentacles, she's by herself. She did the work by herself. That's all her shit. That ain't something that she made for somebody else or in collaboration with somebody else. These are her Nine of Pentacles that are in her garden. And even if it is just you and the birds and the snail, you enjoy that because that's what you worked for. You worked hard for that. You worked very, very hard for that. You worked hard, not just externally, but internally. Because you had to work on your self-worth. Because even if you got it, that's the thing that spirit be trying to hammer into me, is like, if I gave you that abundance then, you wouldn't even known how to be a good steward. You wouldn't even have felt like you deserved it. So you would have squandered it. You would have gave it away to everybody else. To all the people, places, and circumstances that didn't deserve it, that didn't even deserve to have you around, that mishandled you, that mistreated you, you would have still given to them because you felt like you're not worthy. That's the treatment I deserve. There's something wrong with me, and I'm grateful that these people are around me. Whatever projections that they put on you, like you need to just be grateful that we're around. You'd be like, I am grateful. You just would have giving it away. So spirit had to isolate you. Spirit had to put you in these cycles so that you could see your own worth. You can see who was really there for you when you crashed out. The people look at you sideways, the people discard you. More than likely, yeah. So you were protected from that and you learn how to alchemize yourself, find your own work, heal those money wounds so that it's not just money that you're receiving, but it's wealth and abundance, and that you feel worthy of that and that you know your worth, regardless of what is in your account at the moment, regardless of what is in your waking reality. It doesn't matter. Wealth starts from within. That's how you're able to attract. If you're chasing it, then you feel like it's outside of you. But when you embody it, when you alchemize, then you allow the wealth to easily flow to you. You surrender to the wealth. Instead of chasing it, instead of running at it, instead of like how you started off with all this passion, I'm gonna go and get it, you surrender to the wealth. You allow it to flow to you because that's what you deserve. I think that was a beautiful message. I'm not gonna overdo it or go too long. But you won. Congratulations. I know it doesn't feel like it, girl. I know you scarred up, bruised, brittle. I understand the sentiments. I'm right there with you. But you actually won. And it was an internal fight to begin with. Everything that we see outside of us is a reflection of what's within us. So if there's anything in your waking world that you feel like is out of whack, it probably means that you need to do some internal evaluations, and you did. But because we live in an optics driven society, people are not gonna value the internal work that you have done, but they're going to see the results of it fairly soon. And when they ask you how'd you do it, you tell them, I did the fucking work. That's how I did it. Until next time, y'all be blessed.